Good morning, grade 8s. I hope you all are well. Today we're going to mark the homework of yesterday. You had to do worksheet 2A, B and C, and also worksheet 3A. Okay, so I've posted the questions here for worksheet 2A and as well as all the answers. So if you still struggle with this exercise, do the rest of this worksheet as well and then come have a look at the answers here. But you only had to do number 1.4 and 1.6. So let's quickly mark that. At 1.4, they ask you to simplify the following ratio. Now, to simplify this ratio, I have to divide all those numbers, 12, 48, and 120, with something so that it gets smaller, so that it simplifies, okay? So I saw that I can divide all those numbers with 12. So then you say the first number, 12 divided by 12, that's going to give you 1. Also 48 divided by 12, that's going to give you 4. And 120 divided by 12 is going to give you 10. So the simplest form of this ratio will then be 1 to 4 to 10. At question 1.6, they ask us to simplify the ratio 150 centimeters and 5 meters. But remember, guys, a ratio is a comparison of two or more of the same quantities. And in this case, centimeters and meters are not the same. So my suggestion is to take the 5 meters to centimeters rather than to take the 150 centimeters to meters, because in that case you will work with decimal or with fractions and we don't want that. So to take meters to centimeters, I know that there is 100 centimeters in 1 meter, therefore I multiplied that 5 with 100 and that gave me this 500 centimeters. So now I have 150 centimeters on the left hand side and 500 centimeters on the right hand side. And now we have to divide both those numbers with something so that it's simplified. And I see that I can divide all those or both those numbers with 50. So if I say 150 divided by 50, that's going to give me 3. And if I say 500 divided by 50, that's going to give me an answer of 10. And that is in its simplest form. You don't have to do those calculations in blue. I'm just showing you how I got the answer. Okay, that was question or the answers for worksheet 2A. The same here with worksheet 2B. I posted all the questions here at the bottom, as well as all the answers for all the questions. So you can have a look at those if you want to do some extra work. But you only had to do number 1, 4, and 6 for homework. So let's take a look at that. At number 1, they ask us to divide. Remember I said when we have to divide something, we have to look at all the parts of that ratio. And if we add those two parts, 2 plus 3, that gives me a total of 5. Okay? So the one person will get 2 of the 5 parts of 45. Of means I should multiply. So that's why I write here 45 times 2 over 5. And that's going to give me an answer of 18. And the other person is going to get 3 of the 3/5 of 45. And that's going to give you an answer of 28. So if you have to write that in a ratio, it will be 18 to 27. And you don't have to simplify that because they didn't ask for it, okay? They simply asked to divide 45 in a ratio. And if we did that, the ratio will be 18 to 27. Okay, at question number 4, they ask you here to increase 210 in the ratio 9 to 7. Now, boys, when I increase something, it gets bigger. Therefore, if you look at your ratio, you're going to use the biggest number in the ratio as your numerator, the one on top in your fraction. So your fraction will be 9 over 7 because we increased. So 9 is bigger, that's why I put the 9 on top. 9 over 7, that's how my fraction will look like. So, to answer this question, you will say 210 times 9 over 7. Okay? If you wrote 9 over 7 times 210, that's also correct. And if you put the 210 over 1 and you do this without a calculator, that's also correct. But you may use a calculator in the high school. So if you use your calculator, then you will get an answer of 270. And look, 210 did increase to 270, so we are correct. At question number 6, they ask us to reduce something. We must reduce 72 in the ratio 4:3. Now, when we reduce something, it gets less, it gets smaller. All right, so keep that in mind. So when you look at your ratio 4:3, which one is the smallest between them? And I hope you all agree it is 3. So therefore, your fraction will be 3 over 4. 3 over 4 is your fraction. So you're going to say 72 times 3 over 4. That's going to be the first line in your answer. And if you do that with a calculator, then you will get an answer of 54. And have a look, guys. Your answer is 54, and that is smaller than 72. So we did reduce 72, so we are correct. At worksheet 2C, I also put the questions here at the bottom. If you struggle with this, please do the whole worksheet. You have the answers here, so come back to this answers. But you also only had to do question number 2 and 3. So let's take a look at that. At question 2, they tell us that children at the ages of 12 years, 9 years, and 4 years divide. There's your keyword. Divide 500 Rand in the same ratio as their ages. So the ratio will then be 12 to 9 to 4. And we have to divide that 500 Rand in the ratio 12 to 9 to 4 between those 3 children. Okay? And then they ask us, how much does each child receive? So if we have to divide, guys, remember I said, then we have to look at all the parts in our ratio. And if you add the 12, 9, and the 4, you will get a total of 25. So the one child will get 12 over 25, 12 25ths of 500. 12 25ths of 500. And if you work that out, that gives me 240 Rand. The second child will get 9 25ths or 25ths. I struggle with this English, but anyway, just bear with me. The second child will get 9 25ths of 500, and that gives me an answer of 180. And then the last child gets 4 25ths of 500. Of means I should multiply there. And then that gives me an answer of 80 Rand. So there I divided 500 Rand in the ratio 12 to 9 to 4 between these 3 children. And you can also check if your answer is correct by adding these money there. And that must give you a total of 500, and it does. So we are correct. At question number 3, it says, a car completes a distance of 340 kilometers at an average speed of 85 kilometers per hour. How long does it take the car to complete this distance? How long, they ask us. So that is the time. Now, remember that formula, the triangle thingy that looks like this. It says distance, speed, and time. Okay, we did this. We did examples of these. They're asking for the time, all right? So then the formula for time will be distance divided by speed. So you can write it like that, or you can write it next to each other like I did here. Oh, sorry, that's just in the Afrikaans. Let me change that quickly. This should be a D, okay? Or you can write it next to each other like I did, like that. Okay, and this, sorry, I didn't change it to English yet. It should be in English. Okay, there we go. So guys, they're looking for the time. So again, I said you can use the formula like this, or you can use it like I did here. It's the same. Okay, now go back to the question. They tell us that this car completes a distance of 340 kilometers. That's why I put the 340 here in the place of the D of distance. And then they tell us that the speed of this car is 85 kilometers per hour. So in the place of speed, I insert 85. And if you divide that with each other, it gives you 4 hours. If you later want to do question 4, then this should just be words per minute. Okay. Right. Then the last worksheet. I didn't have enough space to put the questions here as well, so you have to look out of your book. But the first question here was number 1, and it says here, an item of clothing costs 300 Rand before VAT. What is the cost of the item of clothing after VAT has been added? Okay, now there's 2 ways to do this. Let's look at the first way, method. We first have to go calculate how much VAT will be added to this clothing, this piece of clothing, and VAT is 15%, okay? So we have to work out 15% of means I should multiply 300. And if you work that out, you get an answer of 45. Then 45 Rand only represents the VAT. So we have to add the VAT to the clothing's price, which is 300 Rand, and that gives me a total of 345 Rand. Or you simply could have multiplied the 300 with 115 over 100 at once, and then you will get your answer immediately of 345 Rand. Both methods are correct. At question 3, they ask you, a calculator is advertised for 4,000 Rand. That's a very expensive calculator. But if you buy this calculator between 10 and 14 February, you will receive 20% discount on the current price. Now they ask you, how much will the calculator then cost you? So we have to work out, what is 20% of 4,000 Rand? How much discount will I get? So 20%, I write 20 over 100. Of means multiply, and 4,000 you can put on 1. And that gives me a total of 800 Rand discount. So then the calculator will cost me 4,000 Rand, which was the original price, minus the discount. It will cost me 3,200 Rand. Alright, and then the last question, number 4. It says a shop owner buys stock for 28,000 and sells the stock at a profit. If his income is 50,400, how much profit did he make? Okay, so profit, there's a formula. It says selling price minus cost price, and the selling price is the same as his income. So therefore, I substitute selling price with 50,400 minus 28,000, and that gives you a profit of 22,400 Rand. Guys, please mark your work with a pencil and do your corrections if you did make a mistake somewhere. And then please feel free to ask your own math teacher if you still struggle with something. We are more than willing to help you. Enjoy your day.